Okay, Cuisine Royale. New update apparently. Heaven's Wrath. Okay, look. Okay, you remember I said, oh, I don't think they're going to add tanks? Well, congrats to the one guy on Facebook who wanted tanks. Now you got it. You remember that guy?
Motorcycle stuff. That's
Yeah, motorcycles. Of course, one guy said he wants tanks, and another one said they want planes. I think that's getting a little ridiculous.
What's up, everybody? I'm Young Yoko, and today we're going over the plethora of updates and changes and showing you why it matters and hopefully making you a better Cuisine Royale chef. Okay, so let's get into it. The Mosinha rifle. This one will actually say, I think it's like Mosinha Assault or something when you pick it up. I've used it. I don't think it's bad. I think it's got a super noticeable buff and damage and fire rate compared to some of the other ones. So just be on the lookout for that. MP41, great. We have another sub, another copy sub. It kind of looks like the others. Another pistol. I don't know anyone who uses pistols other than trolls, so that is what it is. Molotovs and night vision, so we're going to get into that. I haven't seen the night vision. I've seen it on some other posts and stuff. I unfortunately didn't get any gameplay footage of it, but I think it's great. Now, the reason this is important, though, because people are trying to figure out why is this important, right? Like, they've laid a foundation of things to build on. I remember a couple videos back, I was saying, like, landmines. Like, who needs landmines because no one drives vehicles? And then, lo and behold, bam, they put in 2 reasons to now use landmines for these big old flippy tanky thingies. I call them tanks. They're probably the closest thing we're going to get to tanks, I hope, because a 20mm cannon with 100 rounds... devastating, okay, but we'll touch on that in a minute. They also made a bunch of signs. I did catch a lot of gameplay of this. The shield, okay, so the shield is basically a big ice block. If you've ever played Smite, think of Ymir, but I'll show you some gameplay of that. It doesn't blow up with one grenade. It does take a bunch of melee bullets, or some melee bullets. It does take a bunch of bullets to break down, but it only does seem to take 1 melee. So I don't know if that's just because it's the player made wall and I'm testing it in practice, but hopefully we'll check that out. The trap sign Molotov cocktail, it fumigates a really big area with fire, so that's pretty cool to see. And it takes about 5 to 10% damage per tick. It slows you down, and you also have to dedicate a button or a controller button, I would say, a command to putting out the fire. Like stop, drop, and roll doesn't work. Like you have to actually tamp out the fire. So that's a really strong trap. If it can be used in like doorways or choke points, this is going to be crazy to see. The second wind ritual, okay, this is where the game is completely broken, and you're going to see this in the footage. You can spam your abilities over and over and over. Now, they do cost souls. I do believe it is global. I haven't tested it globally, but I'm pretty sure it's global. But either way, can you think of a squads where you can just spam Annie for 100 souls as much as you want for 1 minute? It's insane. Or you can use Beast a million times, or Thor, or maybe the Viper, like... It's just insane. It just completely breaks the game. Yeah, so there's that. Hopefully people won't know about this, but I'm covering it, so it is what it is. Okay, one of my favorites, Heaven's Wrath. This is a weird ritual. I've placed it, and I've done a lot in the lab trying to figure out if there's a specific direction or a correlation to where you place the trap to where the meteorites actually go, and from what I can tell, it's completely random. I don't think there's any tracking methods on it or anything like that. It just seems to rain down meteorites. The meteorites do about 2 to 5 damage. Again, they stun you. It is extremely loud. Think like old flare gun loud, like that fridge. Like everyone knew someone just got a fridge. It's like that times 10. The sound and the range on it is just crazy, so it could be used for sneaking up on people, etc. You'll see in the video. So happy that happened. Okay, we have these are extremely rare. I haven't been able to catch any footage of me using them. However, I have seen one guy actually use it, and I was able to kill him, but the game ended pretty shortly after. But they are definitely a force to be reckoned with. You can't fire and drive at the same time, so it takes 2 people. But it's kind of cool to like just park somewhere and camp, I guess. I mean, this is definitely going to change the meta if they keep going down this path. Okay, the other changes. Beast got a big buff. It cost like 50 souls to 60 souls now, I think, to go into beast mode. So they're really trying to make him shine. So definitely be on the lookout for that. On the flip side of that, Viper got a huge nerf, and it cost 100 souls now to use her ability. I think we can all agree that we needed this. I'm a Viper main myself, but still 100. I think 100's okay. The reason I think 100's okay is because there's a surgical mask that reduces the ability cost, so it costs like 80 souls, and I think 80 is a perfect sweet spot. I think it's good for Annie as well. And then if you use like, you know, Beast, it costs like 20 souls, so that's ridiculous. They also extended the sun eclipse to 75 seconds. That is a long time, and that is where the night vision goggles and everything else will come into play, because you don't realize how long 75 seconds is until there's only 5 people left and someone pops that thing. It is insane. It lasts a long time, so I am happy that they have that. It also kind of just adds a new element to the game, so I'm really happy that they added that. Oh yeah, perfect. Here we go. So it went from 50 to 100, and Clyde's went from 80 to 60. Yeah, so that's crazy. Also, if you get killed from the armored gun, it will say cannon kill. So that's good too. All right, let's hop in and see some gameplay. Okay, so something I forgot to touch on, I did mention that the night ritual or sun eclipse is now taking 75 seconds. You'll see it says like 20 seconds, 30 seconds to activate, but it's because it's the alleviating of the darkness that takes the other 30 seconds or so. So all in total, it's like 75 seconds. But they've also reduced the cost from 600 down to 200, which means this is now, it could become a main thing. And with night vision and giving more incentives to use it, really push it in that direction, I would definitely say get ready to see a lot more of this. Okay. Now, some of the other things that we would love to see, though, is das wall. All right, now this wall, as you can tell, kind of looks like Ymir from Smite. Like I've said before, it takes a lot of bullets, but it only seems to take 1 melee. I don't know if that's just because I'm in practice and it's the person who created it, because that would make more sense to me. I hope it just doesn't take 1 melee, but it does take a lot of rounds just if you do it just for bullets, and I think maybe that's what it's really made for. I mean, 30 rounds is a good bit of rounds, even from an M3. It takes less than that to kill. Then there's the anti-vehicle mine, right? The anti-vehicle mine, we have to see if this thing really matters, right? Like, we've got tanks, light armored tanks coming around, so let's see if the mine actually does anything. Well, we'll put a mine there. Doo-doo-doo. Oh yeah, completely totals the vehicle. It shoots you out of the vehicle. It did do like a little bit of damage, but it doesn't seem like it done a whole lot. So it's not an instant kill. It's basically just an anti-tank mine, you know, like Battlefield. Kind of just stalls the vehicle out. It doesn't really kill the people in the vehicle. Stuns them up a little bit. Great for ambushes. Could definitely be used with Molotovs and some other guns, or some other traps. I mean, the possibilities are endless. Okay, so I love ripping on the tank because I think it's just funny that I was like, oh, like that's crazy, and then it actually happened. But there was actually a huge number of serious updates and patches that came through this one, and a lot of them may go under the radar. The first thing I want to say is that Viper got a nerf. It's now costing 100 souls to use her ability. If you use the mask, it still costs 80, and I think 80 is a great spot. I think 80 would have been a great nerf, and then have it do 60 with the mask, but I understand doing it at 100 because people are going to use the mask for 80, so I'm totally okay with that. Either way, I think it's in a great spot. Anyone can admit that it was down to using 50 souls for 4 blinks. Like, this is crazy. Now you're going to have to completely, if you don't use the mask, which you might not, you're going to have to completely commit. Like, 100 souls is a big deal, especially early game solos where you might not have the best time trying to get enough souls to spam it. Same thing with Annie. I think it's a good nerf. I mean, we needed it. But other than that, there is a lot of more juicy things to cover, like the Molotov that we now have. This nice little trap. I thought it was going to be a Molotov grenade. It's actually just like a trap. See if we can get it to come out. Well, maybe not. Can we get it to come out? There we go. Okay, so not only that, it does about 5 to 10 damage, I've noticed, and it slows you down. So it slows you down, and there's a new mechanic that you have to put out the fire. So it dedicates everything to making sure you get out of the fire. As you can see, it kind of dies pretty quick. Let's see if we can get in here. I don't think, I'm almost 200% sure like stop, drop, and road doesn't work. Like you have to put it out. Look at that. Boom, it just eats away. So I think it's a great trap. I mean, it has a pretty good range of area, and the fire does seem to like stay with the people a little bit, so that's pretty cool. I like to see that. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, the next thing, this ritual took me a little bit to understand how it works. Okay, so the actual ritual itself has these little arrows, these little lines. That is the way, or the general direction to which these meteorites are going to fall. And I probably should say that catalyzed ritual of Heaven's Wrath is a bunch of meteorites rain down from the heavens onto a unsuspecting area. Okay, so like from now, so we done it this way, so the little arrows are facing this way, the meteorite should land somewhere over here. I've noticed that it doesn't have like the exact same distance every time, and it's completely random in the distance. It may even be completely random in the direction. Yeah, see, like now it's over here. It just seems to be completely random wherever it comes from. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Basically does enough damage to stun you, to really disorient you, to take away your vision. I mean, see, look, I got hit right there. It did maybe 2 to 5 damage. It's not an insta-kill like PUBG or something like that, but I mean, it takes up a lot of space. Like, listen to that. It's overwhelming the game with audio. So it could be good to like sneak up on people. Could be good for a diversion. If you see a bunch of cars. Again, I'm not really for sure if there's a correlation between where you put the trap and where it rains down, or if it's trying to auto-target people. As you can see, it's just kind of raining down. I kind of wish there was a little bit more fiery effects, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, the next thing absolutely breaks the game, and that is the second wind. So what that does, it means you can spam abilities, right? One ability, boom. Oh, I got another one, boom. I can spam these abilities. Now they do cost souls, but I mean, can you just imagine Annie on crack? I just want you to think about that for squads for a second. Annie completely on crack. Now it is global, so everyone gets it, and in that way, I think maybe that's fair. Because, for instance, you can't use the Wrath. Oh, here, I'll try it. You know, only limit of 1 active ritual reach per time. That's fine. But still, I mean, even Viper, being able to just completely, like, track someone down. Look at that. Even at 100 souls, the amount of range you can get, the amount of range you could get with Thor, the amount of kills you could get with Annie, it's just unprecedented. So, I think these are some of the biggest changes that have happened. I'm looking really forward to seeing how this plays out, and if they take this one away or not. Alright, now there's a lot of other things that I did add in this game. As you know, I use the mask. I like using the round face or the Aztec mask here, but this surgical mask active hero ability costs 20% less souls. This is huge, and if you've noticed, they're calling them heroes now. They're not called characters or anything else. I assume this will be changed really soon, but now everything is referred to as hero. So these are heroes. Yes, a murderous man, another murderous man, a maybe murderous woman. They're all heroes. So be on the lookout for that. There's also the new edition of the scrolls. Now, what these are basically just signs that you get. You can actually unlock this in the workshop. And basically what it does is get 1 random mystic scroll with a ritual. So you can have your 3 rituals that you want, and then have the magic scroll that just kind of magically summons anything. So in theory, you could have Global Flood, you could have the Heaven's Wrath and the zombies, and then have Ritual of Darkness from this scroll. It's just how that works out. I didn't go over a lot of the other things in this video. I wanted to touch on the main things, but there is, with the addition of the vehicles, now like I said before, there was a lot of things to show you empty vehicles, and we thought that was just hoopla, like who would need that? But they've went ahead and added some more, like reveals all empty armored vehicles, which I think could be useful in squads. I would not use these in solos. I don't even think they're in solos because you can't shoot at them with 1 person. I haven't tested it out, but As you can see, it's done for every class. When the ritual of sun eclipse is active, it allows you to see enemies on the map in a 100-meter radius. This, I think, is actually interesting. So if you haven't found the night scope, you will be able to see this, or be able to use this and see people, which I think is actually like a huge benefit. Now, I don't know how prevalent the sun eclipse will be. Like I mentioned earlier, 200 souls is a pretty good bargain, and being able to kind of spam it. But it depends on, and this meta could change, right? Like on PC, it could be just prevalent, and on console, no one could use it. They just use Ritual of Fast Run. It could be flip-flopped. It really depends. Know your community. But either so, remember this all the way at the end, because this will be important if you're finding yourself not being able to see or getting a night scope for, you know, dealing with that ritual. Alright, boys and girls, I hope you learned something. I hope I could help you out, maybe put an extra inch on your PP stick. Don't be afraid to check us out over here on Twitch. We do stream every once in a while whenever I feel like it. But if you've made it to this part of the video, as always, guys, stay fierce. Thanks for watching. Huh. Yeah, I planned that. Yeah.